As most of us know, it is really, really hard to predict who will win the Rising Star for whatever upcoming AFL season it, of course, is. Again, most of the time, there is a high draftee player who is usually the favourite, and then a random AFL player who was drafted at like pick 28 who randomly just spawns out of nowhere and contends for it. Again, I'm looking at Lewis Taylor in like 2014, and better yet, Sydney Stack, who was completely undrafted and finished like second in 2019. But of course, with such a deep draft class in 2024, it has led a lot of people to very early on speculate and give their predictions out on who they think is going to win the 2025 Rising Star Award. Again, there's the obvious ones that a lot of people think. Again, the early predictions on Sam Lawler. Again, he was the first overall pick for the Tigers. He's going to get a ton of midfield time, a ton of forward time. All of the above, you would very much think he is a guy who is a massive chance to, of course, win it. Then there's, of course, Levi Ashcroft, arguably the best player in the 2024 draft, who will play a ton of big games for the Brisbane Lions, a ton of massive eyes on him, of course, as he goes about his business. Again, those are the really, really obvious ones. But what if I told you there was a guy right now who was drafted by the Richmond Football Club who has not only turned pretty much everyone's head in the whole entire Richmond Footy Club, but also has a ton of other AFL fans really speculating and paying attention to some of the footage we've seen of him so far, that it seems like we're getting to the point now where this guy could be the early favourite and could honestly be a massive chance to, of course, win it. Again, before I do get into who I think that will be, I would just like to say again, there is still a decent amount of you guys who watch these videos who are not yet subscribed to the channel. So if you could do me a massive favor and leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for all the latest AFL content, sports content. Again, it lets me know you guys are enjoying it and whatnot. But of course, again, if I look a little bit different, yeah, I am. I, of course, recently just got some braces, so if any one of you guys wants to go in the comment section down below and comment if you can get cash out by swiping your card between the gap of my teeth. Again, you've got probably like a year left of being able to do that, because soon this gap it won't be there anymore. Just like my father in my life, it will have completely disappeared. But again, back on topic now, there's a player who is playing for the Richmond Football Club who has been dominating the very early preseason training sessions, and not only has been dominating and has been quietly said to be one of the best leaders that the Tigers have brought in like 10 to 15 years, but his footage has been really going all around Twitter, X videos, whatever you want to call it, as well as Instagram, and getting quite popular, where a lot of people are booking him in to be the early Rising Star favourite. And of course, that does happen to be Josh Smiley. Again, Josh Smiley was the 7th overall pick to the Tigers, and again, was one of only, I believe, 4 players who were at one stage predicted to be the number 1 overall pick. Again, the other 3 being Sam Lawler, Jagger Smith, and of course Finn O'Sullivan. Again, those 4 players are all one stage were in the running to be number 1. Again, even Smiley, it was only a couple months before the draft where it was being said by leakers out there that Josh Smiley was actually Richmond's favourite choice to go pick number 1. But again, when they heard that, of course, he was potentially going to slide down in the draft class because teams like Adelaide were more focused on homegrown talent like Sid Draper, the Tigers were able to take the best available but most potential in Sam Lawler, and were able to watch their guy who they thought was probably going to be number 1 fall all the way down to pick number 7. Now, Josh Smiley has a really, really unique opportunity right now with the Tigers, because he's going to come in as a 195 centimeter inside midfielder, automatically be, I think, nearly the tallest midfielder in the game, and be pretty much guaranteed a spot in Richmond's 23, because let's be honest here, I don't really think there's many players who are going to be out competing him for a game in that midfield other than maybe Taranto and Hopper. You've, of course, got Dion Prestia, whose hamstrings are on absolute life support. Jack Ross, who was pretty much dead the whole entire year with injuries. And Thompson Dow. Yeah, I don't think Thompson Dow is taking his place anytime soon. So Josh Smiley has a really unique opportunity where he is pretty much guaranteed a game by the Tigers every single week, as well as guaranteed a ton of midfield time. Again, I'm sure he'll probably play like 15 to 20% up forward, but I think he will probably play that 80% of game time for the most part in the midfield, and I think he will do a really, really good job. And let's just say those injuries that the Tigers had last year come back again, where usually only one of Hopper and Taranto plays. Prestia misses every second week, Ross isn't playing, all that type of stuff. Josh Smiley is probably going to be the first option in an AFL team's midfield in just his first year. Like, we got to remember, that is absolutely crazy. Like, if all those injuries do happen, even if Prestia stays healthy, there's a chance for a lot of the game we see a midfield of like Thompson Dow, Josh Smiley, Dion Prestia, Jack Ross, etc., etc. And you could legitimately argue right now that Josh Smiley is almost going to be near better than all of those guys. Again, I'm not going to get hopefully too hyped and too carried away, but Richmond's midfield is not great, and they obviously drafted the two of the top midfielders for a reason, and that was to try and improve this midfield and hopefully get some players who can play some consistent football. So while there are other favourites for the Rising Star like Jagger Smith and Levi Ashcroft, we got to remember Levi Ashcroft is battling for disposals with like 8 other elite midfielders. Jagger Smith's battling for disposals with like 5 other really good midfielders. Josh Smiley is battling for disposals with Thompson Dow. Yeah. Look, I'm not that much of a betting man, of course. I did say on this channel, I think I won a fair bit of money on like the 2024 election, but other than that, I'm usually pretty crappy with my bets, and I'm usually don't really care too much about them. Of course, I'm more of like a pokies kind of man, but if I were a massive betting man, I would be, saying that I think there's a massive chance that Josh Smiley is going to win the Rising Star. And who knows, I might even place a cheeky little bet on it, because I think this is a massive chance. I think Josh Smiley will come in and be probably not one of Richmond's best, but I think there's a chance that Josh Smiley could come in and be like a top 14 player for the Tigers straight away. Again, they absolutely need some good young players in there, and I think there is one right here who is like nearly ready-made for the AFL. He's pretty much nearly ready to go, and I just really wanted to make this video to bring more awareness to this, because some of the clips we've been seeing of Josh Smiley are absolutely insane. Like, they're legitimately crazy, and I'm not gonna lie, as a Richmond fan, they kind of turn me on. And usually I only get turned on by things like, Tate McRae or Natalie Portman in Attack of the Clones. But I think Josh Smiley is being added to that list, because from what we've seen from him, he looks like he's got the goods. Not only is he a pretty good looking lad, but I think this guy is looking like to be a really, really good footballer who I believe will be a massive chance for Rising Star, especially with the situation that Richmond are in and how he's automatically going to come in and just play bulk midfield time, be like a top 2 option already probably for that team. I think there's a chance if he can put it together, he will go really well. But again, I'd of course like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Do you guys think Josh Smiley is a massive chance to win Rising Star? Or do you guys not? Of course, subscribe to my gaming channel and my IRL/vlogging channels linked down below. And this channel for all those sports content, sports news, AFL content, all of the above. But yeah, as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.